Alright, so now that we have understood that the first step of conflict resolution process is to understand whether you are supposed to intervene or not. So if you realize that you are actually supposed to intervene in a particular situation, then the first thing that you should pay attention to is the reasons or the causes of conflict. If you know that you have to resolve a particular conflict, the first step is to make sure that you understand what are the sources behind that particular dispute. As you can see on the screen, that understanding the causes can create a more productive approach to conflict management. Let me explain this to you with the help of a very simple example. Let's say you have fever, so you will decide to go to the doctor. Now the doctor will try to figure out what exactly is the cause of that fever. Is it some kind of viral, some vaccination because of some infection? He'll have a lot of causes, then he'll see what exactly is the cause of your fever, and seeing that, he'll suggest you some medicine. Once you'll take the medicine, you'll be fine. Same is the case with conflict. Whenever there's some kind of disruption at the workplace or some kind of negative environment, you see that there's some kind of conflict going on. Then you have to figure out what exactly is the cause of that conflict. Once you'll see the cause, then you'll make a proper approach and you'll see how exactly you can manage it properly, and then the outcome will be positive. So the first step to resolve any problem, be it your fever in the real world or be it your conflict in your personal life or in your organization, the first step is to make sure that you understand the source of the problem, the actual issue and the reason behind it. So generally there are two types of causes: interpersonal causes or your task system causes, which are generally in your organization, in your company. So if you see the interpersonal causes, the first one is age or generational difference. Definitely it can be a cause for conflict. Generally, whatever conflicts we have with our parents, those are because of the age gap or the generation gap. Second is different priorities. We have different priorities, you have different priorities. As human beings, we all are unique and we have our own priorities. We like something, we dislike something. And when we come on the same platform, there are chances that because of dissimilarity in our priorities, there can be some kind of conflict. Let's say you are a very people oriented person and I am a very task oriented person. If we come on the same platform, there can be issues because of that. Then different core values and belief system can also be a cause. Differences between the personalities of the people who are involved. Let's say you are doing a project and different kinds of people are there. Because they have different belief system, different core values, different interests, there can be some conflict. Lack of cooperation. Some people work best alone. They do not know how to work with a team. There's a lack of cooperation. That can also be one of the causes, which is interpersonal causes for conflict. Then work style differences. Some people work in a certain way. They are not very organized, let's say. They are not very punctual. But some people are very punctual, very organized. They both are good. If they meet the deadline, they work properly. But their way of working is very, very different. Some people have a proper routine, very planned routine. Some people like it to be very flexible. The routine has to be flexible. We all have our own work styles. And when we come on the same platform and try to work on something where we have similar goals, then we can have some conflicts because of these things. Then false assumptions. Sometimes we assume certain things and we think that that is correct. And that can also be one of the causes for conflict. It can also be cultural differences. If we work with international clients, you must have seen that. Task system causes. First one is unclear organization structure. That is one of the most common causes in the organizations for any conflict. Because if the unclear structure is there, then you'll never be able to figure out whom to report to, if there's any issue, whom to go to, and this will create a lot of problem at the workplace. Then unclear roles. If you do not know what exactly you are supposed to do, that is also an issue, can also be a cause for conflict. Undefined goals. You are not sure what exactly are your objectives, whether your objectives are aligned with the objectives of the organization or not. You will never be clear about anything and you will work and you will feel unproductive. And that is also a reason for the cause of conflict. Then unrealistic expectation. If somebody will give you unrealistic expectation, you'll feel that the other person is not empathizing with you. They are not trying to understand you. And that can also be one of the very, very good reason for a conflict. Then competition for scarce resources. If there is any lack of resource, that can also be a create a competition feeling between the same team members or between two groups of a same organization, and that can also be a cause for a conflict.